Welcome to day 2 of SHOT Show. I'm Amy Sweezy. After an incredible day 1, we are in full swing. Let's go take a look around the SHOT Show floor.
All of these dealers have put a lot of work and a lot of time into everything that they've done here, and it really shows in this whole exhibition.
This is actually my 21st SHOT Show. It's great. SHOT Show is one of the best places to showcase tactical products.
This is my 10th SHOT Show. It gets bigger and bigger.
Don't forget to download the mobile app to keep your schedule organized, and be sure to stay connected. You can follow us on social and use the hashtag SHOTShow.
This is Nephi Cole. I'm with the National Shooting Sports Foundation, and here we are at SHOT Show. We're joined by Governor Greg Gianforte of Montana and Paul Donaldson from Snowy Mountain Rifles in Montana. So Paul, first of all, thanks for hosting us at your booth. How many years have you been at SHOT Show?
I think this is our 5th year at SHOT Show. We've been manufacturing in Montana since 2009.
Well, Montana's certainly a phenomenal state for business. Governor, what makes Montana so good for the firearms businesses?
Well, first, we love the Second Amendment, and you know, it's businesses like Snowy Mountain. We have 150 firearms and ammunition manufacturers located in Montana. That's more per capita than any other state in the country. I think it's because we love freedom and we love free enterprise. And since I came into office, we've been open for business. So we've been lowering the tax burden, deregulating, and making sure that government just kind of stays out of the way so that we can help people achieve the American dream.
Governor, you have over a dozen companies here at SHOT Show today, all of them growing, all of them flourishing in Montana. People recognize Montana for their leadership in both manufacturing long rifles, barrels. I mean, it's really huge. Why is it that Montana, as an outdoor recreation state, why do people love Montana so much? Maybe the great business climate, but what else does Montana have to offer?
Well, it's not hard. I mean, and just to correct, we have over 24 manufacturers here at the SHOT Show, just a small segment of the 150 that exist. But it's really the quality of life. We've announced some big announcements recently of businesses moving to Montana. Just 2 weeks ago, $125 million investment by Brickstale Defense. They're going to build a plant that's going to manufacture about 1 billion primers a year, create 350 jobs. Olympus Arms, a $50 million investment, building rifles, about 60 jobs. And what it is, not only is it a good business climate, but you can hunt 11 out of 12 months, big game. And the 1 month you can't hunt big game, July, the fishing's pretty good. So there's a lot of people in the firearms industry that love the outdoors. The two passions go together. Myself, on a weekend, you're mostly gonna find me out in the woods someplace. And it's just awesome. It's the quality of life combined with the Montana work ethic that won't quit that's bringing people to Montana.
Well, Governor, we're certainly excited for everything you've done in Montana over the last 4 years. You recently announced that you're going to be seeking office again in Montana. I know on behalf of the industry, we love you as Governor of Montana. We're looking forward to working with you for another 4 years and having you at SHOT Show hopefully for another 4 years. It's been a pleasure every time you've come to visit. Recently, the last legislative session, you signed a bill into law called the Financial Industry Non-Discrimination Act that requires people that discriminate against the industry to make that known to the state so you guys can decide for yourselves whether or not you want to support those types of companies in Montana. Why is that important?
Yeah, we've seen discrimination against firearms companies creep into not only banking, but also investment. And I heard a story here at SHOT Show last year that really prompted that action. There was a Montana manufacturer that shared with me that they'd been denied a loan from a bank they had been with for 20 years, and the banker told them with a straight face, if you only manufactured a screw that went into a Revolutionary War flintlock, you would never get a loan from us. So we passed a law in Montana that makes that sort of discrimination by banking illegal. We also will not allow ESG policies, these woke policies, to creep into and use our pension funds. So in addition, we withdrew $26 billion from our money managers and said, you will not vote the proxies on those shares, because we don't want some woke financial analyst in San Francisco or Boston using the pension funds of our hardworking Montanans to advance their political agenda. Now we vote our own proxies, and we've taken that tool out of their hands. So we're going to continue to defend the rights of Montanans and make sure they get a good fiscal return, and our firearms companies can get the funding they need to continue to grow.
Well, Governor, thank you very much for being at SHOT Show. We, as an elected representative of Montana and a leader of the state, we are proud to be associated with you. And certainly, your business acumen speaks for itself, and you're really running Montana that way. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're open for business. You know, if you find yourself in one of these states that doesn't embrace freedom the way Montana does, come and see us.
Thank you very much. Nephi Cole with SHOT Show and the greatest leaders in our country.
I've made a lot of good contacts. I actually have a business that builds the product, and I have another business that sells the product. So having some suppliers available too is a big deal, because I have, different options for product now that I didn't have really day before yesterday.
It allows us to see the different products that are available that we could possibly use through the business with our online sales and also with our gun sales, and to use on the sporting clays range.
What is the value of attending SHOT Show for your business?
We get to promote our product, and we get to create business relations with other companies.
We are a Quebec company, so when we're here, this is our way to meet every manufacturers and all the people around here, so this is a great time for us.
I can't tell you how many people I've seen that are familiar with what I'm doing. I know what they're doing, but we hadn't had a chance to connect yet, so getting numbers, making those acquaintances, and just driving business forward, that wouldn't be there without this venue.
When we're here, we're able to network with our customers, we're able to see all of our dealers. There really is no better place for us to be during this time.
Welcome back to SHOT Show. I'm Larry Keene, Senior Vice President and General Counsel for the National Shooting Sports Foundation. And I'm joined by my good friend, the Attorney General of the state of Indiana, Todd Rokita. Todd, welcome to the SHOT Show.
Hey, thanks, Larry. It's great to be here. And I'll admit, this is my first SHOT Show. Not that I don't love what the Second Amendment's all about, and not that I don't have my own set of firearms. According to my wife, a lot of them. But this is the first time I've seen this in person, and oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what the gun control show looks like.
Yeah, it's the SHOT Show is the third largest show Vegas does every year. Wow. It's the 8th largest trade show in North America. It's the largest event that Venetian Expo does every year. It's an $88 million impact on the economy of Vegas.
Well, what can I do to bring you to Indianapolis?
Well, that's a good topic, because we have some challenges still going on, as you know, in Indiana. the City of Gary lawsuit, which was filed in, believe this, August of 1999. It's now 24 and a half years old. It's still pending. The industry's still defending itself in this lawsuit. And it's just outrageous we're both lawyers, that a case could last that long.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And really what we need to do now is get a law passed in Indiana that statutorily makes this action prohibited. The courts have let it go on way too long. They're actually in discovery now, the gathering of evidence that, remember, like you said, this was back in the 90s, this lawsuit was filed. Discovery was answered, a lot of documents were tendered, and they won't stop. They just keep wanting more and more and more. The latest discovery request wants documents that don't yet exist. Documents into the future. What this is about, it's way past the money. It's now about getting lists of gun owners and going after them, and we're doing everything we can to stop it. We can fight it in the courts. We can join it. The Attorney General's office in Indiana is a huge pro Second Amendment office. But really the best way to get at this now is legislatively.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, the discovery that's going on in this case after 24 years is insane. The retailer defendants in the case have been ordered to turn over hundreds of thousands of 4473s, A&D records going all the way back to like 2004, and the cost for the manufacturers, one company alone told us, this was testified to in the committee hearing the other day, $12 million to respond to the city's discovery requests. They are on a fishing expedition, and they're using drag nets. So there's a bill pending that you support. Yeah. Tell the audience about the bill.
Yeah, definitely. It's a real simple bill. It says, these actions are prohibited, particularly the Gary one is prohibited. Only the state can bring such actions, and certainly as long as I'm Attorney General, and I imagine just like my predecessors, my successors will be the same way. I'm the attorney for the state of Indiana. That's not going to happen on my watch. So what we got to do is preempt this. These local ordinances, these cities from filing their own lawsuits, these plaintiffs' attorneys, and even beyond the plaintiffs' attorneys, Larry, it's really the Brady folks, it's really the gun control people who are using this lawsuit to bankrupt honest businesses. And it's wrong. It's not what America is at all about. Our founders would be turning over in their grave. And that's why Chris Jeter, who's the author of this bill in the House, is onto something with this. He has my full support. He has the support of his colleagues. And even, I think, State Treasurer Dan Elliott's here at the SHOT Show for the first time. Other statewide office holders from Indiana are here, in solidarity with you all and also in support of this bill.
Well, I know years ago, officials from Indiana called and said, can you help identify companies that would move to Indiana as a Second Amendment friendly state? Yeah. And the answer was, no one will move to Indiana because this lawsuit is pending. Yeah. In fact, Beretta, as I recall, sent a letter saying, yes, we're looking at moving, but Indiana is not on the short list because we're not going to move to a state where this lawsuit's allowed to continue.
Yeah, and again, that was before my time. Had I been in office at the state level at that time, we would have, I'm sure, proposed that bill sooner, but we recognize that it's not fair. It's like, regardless if you come to Indiana or not, because we are a great place to do business regardless. But yeah, I can completely understand what Beretta's talking about, completely agree with them, and we need in Indiana to put our money where our mouth is, or however that works. And the first step in that, and hopefully the last step in that, is to get this statute passed. I think it'll be passed this session, which should be over in a month and a half.
Well, it passed the House overwhelmingly, which is great, and hopefully it can move through the Senate as well. Any predictions on what do you think will happen in Senate Judiciary and get to the floor of the Senate?
Well, I have a joke. I served in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., representing Indiana, so I have my own jokes about senators. But in Indiana, you have a good group, and they still are senators, or at the federal level or state level, but I think they understand, for the reasons you point out, for the reasons I point out, that this is just common sense. You shouldn't torture a specific industry, specific businesses like this, using judges and a court system in an inappropriate way. And this is inappropriate. And if Indiana, like other states, has to pass a statute to make that so, we will.
After 25 years, they've had their shot, right? I mean, it's time to put an end to this.
Absolutely. The issues, whatever they were in the 90s that they were concerned about, have long been gone. They've bled enough companies. Some companies settled with them, and I don't question those decisions, but it's not like people haven't been paid because of this, and that doesn't make it right. But they've gotten their blood, and it's time to let honest, good people with honest businesses continue to keep America free.
So you're here for our Boots and Badges Forum with other attorneys general that are here. So we're looking forward to that. But you're also leading the effort on another important issue for the industry with other AGs that are here as well. Talk about to explain that to the audience and what's going on and why you're involved.
Well, look, we have the federal government overreach again, getting into the ammunition business and trying to limit and prohibit what's happening there. Right, our firearms are only as good as the ammunition we put in them, and so this is just part of the Biden overreach, where he actually said on the campaign trail that the gun manufacturer industry is quote unquote the enemy. The man has a lot of enemies these days, and the people at this show are one of them. It's a complete dereliction of duty. It's wrong. It's a ignorance at best, an ignoring at worst of the founding of our nation and what that was all about, and how we made government the subject and we the people in charge. And firearms and munitions have been a cornerstone of that since 1776 and before. And anyone running for office at any level needs to understand that. The letter, the Lake City ammunition letter I'm talking about, points to a lot of this. I'm very grateful that every Republican state attorney general is on that letter defending this industry, Larry.
Yeah, what's being coming from Elizabeth Warren and the like, and your colleagues on the other side of the aisle, 20 Democrat AGs, urging the Department of Defense and the White House to stop the sale of of ammunition into the commercial market from Lake City. And what people need to know is that the idea to allow Lake City, which is a government-owned arsenal run under a contract right now by Winchester, back in 2001, in the ramp-up to the Iraq War, half of Lake City was mothballed, and they didn't have the trained workers. So the Department of Defense said, we're never going to have that again. It impacted military readiness. At the time, the Department of Defense had to go to foreign countries to buy ammunition for the warfighter at the beginning of the war. That makes no sense. So they said, we're going to have this plant operational at all times so that it can respond to a surge in demand. And we're looking at, potentially kinetic fights, World War III maybe, and this is not the time to reduce military readiness.
Yeah. It's just another misstep in the Biden military policy. And I wish I could say it was just incompetence. Unfortunately, I think it's more than that. There's an intention here, really, to not put this country first. And your Republican AGs in the states that are like-minded are the first line of defense, maybe not the last line of defense, against that government overreach that's trying to take down this nation.
Well, thank you for joining us. We got to wrap it up. I know you got to get to other things. Really appreciate your being here, General, and I look forward to working on the forum with you later on.
Yep, good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all for now.
Day 2 of SHOT Show featured the 3rd Annual Governors Forum. NSSF hosted several governors who spoke about the importance of the firearm industry to their states. They discussed Second Amendment rights along with their efforts to attract firearm and ammunition-related business. The governors shared their insights to some of the challenges and opportunities for gun rights in this country. A new addition to SHOT Show happened on Day 2, a first ever State Attorneys General Forum. Badges and Boots was a laid-back interactive discussion with several State Attorneys General. Topics included the legal landscape and how law enforcement officers are handling Second Amendment issues in their state.
It was wonderful, very informative. I am so looking forward to this election coming up because this particular segment, it really opened up my eyes to a lot.
I work for Silent Majority Foundation, so I'm one of the few private attorneys that's actually working against all of these things, and there just aren't enough of us, and we really need the support of the attorneys general.
I'm Amy Sweezy here at the New Product Center. This is where the industry's hottest new products are on display in one easy-to-shop destination. The SHOT Show New Product Center is a stockpile of insights into new firearms and accessories hitting the market. Here's a look at the most scanned products.
This is Nephi Cole with the National Shooting Sports Foundation here at SHOT Show 2024. I have the privilege to be here with Governor Pillen from Nebraska. Governor, how are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic. Second time to SHOT Show. It's really, it's awesome to be around like-minded people. The energy here is just palpable, and it's a mass of humanity everywhere you go. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you were here for the Governor's Forum. We had 7 governors discussing policy issues, discussing, all the great things about their state. You made a great case for Nebraska being absolutely the best place in the world to go if you wanted to get some bird hunting done, chase some huge whitetails. Tell us about Nebraska.
Well, Nebraska, we're one of the safest places in the world to live. We have an extraordinary Ogallala aquifer that I call the pot of gold. It is the most sustainable reservoir in the Western Hemisphere. We have the best people in the world. We're about faith, family, hard work, believe in the American dream, and we believe in government being out of our hair, and we make our decisions for ourselves. Very, very strong pro-Second Amendment, very strong pro-life, very strong protecting blue, standing up for our values. Nebraska is just an incredibly special place because we just do whatever it takes to take care of our neighbor. We don't care where they come from, what language they speak, what color they are. We're Nebraskans, and we roll our sleeves up and make things happen together. So it's been really fun to be able to be here, be part of celebrating the Hornady family, 75 years in business. The other thing that's really cool about the Hornadys and so many companies here in this industry is so many are generational family businesses, and that's what we pride ourselves in Nebraska, whether it's in agriculture, manufacturing, banking, you name it. Just an incredible number, strong industries that are family owned and working hard for generations to come. So those are all things that make it a really special place. And then most important of all is our kids. And our kids are telling us 9 out of 10 of our kids want to live in Nebraska when they grow up. Never before in the history of our state. And guess why? Because of the safety. We're such an incredibly safe place to live. So those are a lot of things that we have going to brag and make sure our state can grow and compete and provide incredibly quality of life for generations to come.
Well, Governor, Nebraska really is the heart of the U.S. I mean, you guys are right in the center of it, feeding the world, creating huge opportunities. Of course, you had to take some time out from a busy schedule, including your legislative schedule, to come out here for an afternoon to spend some time. Do you have any legislative priorities for either industry or Second Amendment, anything you want to highlight?
Yeah, well, we're working. So last year, the first bill I signed as the 41st governor of Nebraska was partnering with Senator Brewer and concealed carry. So we got that through. We're going through a little bit of a challenge with our two large cities. We're challenging that they can't be preemptive. They can't sign and decide to have a different law in their city. So we're challenging that, and we'll win. And then the others, we're working on making it simpler to exercise our Second Amendment rights, where we don't have to get a permit to be able to buy a gun. And then we're also working on making sure our schools are safe. Obviously, anybody knows that bad people don't go to places where there's guns. And so we're working on making sure that qualified, trained people can have guns in schools so that they can protect our kids.
Well, Governor, thank you again for joining us at SHOT Show. Certainly, you're one of the great leaders in our country. We've really enjoyed getting to know you better these few years you've been able to come, and hope you'll join us again. Thank you, Governor.
Well, it's a really high priority. Number one, it's our life and liberty and our freedoms. We have to stand together and do it, and it's really, really awesome to be with other conservative governors. And as I've said, what everybody can count on, conservative governors, our yeses are yes, our noes are no. We aren't checking wind. We're doing what's best for the people, and that's a humbling and a privilege to be a part of that.
Thank you very much, Governor, and hopefully we'll see you at the next SHOT Show. Hopefully we'll see all you at the next SHOT Show too.
So far in these 2 days, definitely Armor Research Company. They have a rifle shield for ballistic protection, which is huge because typically in a tactical situation, you only carry the shield when you're going against handguns or pistol type shots. So to have something to protect you against rifle rounds really changes the game for us in the tactical situation.
Holliston's really got a lot of stuff coming out. I like their thermal pistol optic that they came out with, the Iris laser, and they also have a rifle mounted flashlight they got coming out.
What is the most innovative thing that you've seen so far at SHOT Show?
It was the little clear bags that you could put bullets, your phone, anything, and they're waterproof. So many things you can use with them for.
I think this year would be that 360 camera. I think so.
Over at the Agilite booth, they've made this battle belt, and it's actually got a load-bearing component with a Cobra buckle and a D-ring attachment, so you could use it for like hasty fall protection and rescue and things like that.
Governor Sanders, welcome to SHOT Show 2024, Governor of Arkansas, and most people might know you from doing the very tough work that you did in the Trump administration. The poise and the courage and the steadfastness that you showed doing that job was amazing. I personally appreciated seeing every day your press conferences. But you're here at SHOT Show, you're here for a reason, and one of those reasons is to attract business to Arkansas. Arkansas has had some amazing successes over the past few years. I know Walther just announced a $30 million expansion to its facility. What makes Arkansas particularly attractive to the firearms industry, and when you're trying to attract firearm industry business, what do you tell them?
Well, I think we have just an incredible reputation. Some of the best firearms manufacturers, ammunitions manufacturers in the country are located in Arkansas. We're cutting taxes. We're building a strong workforce for the future. And I think one of the biggest takeaways, though, is we appreciate their business. We want them to be in Arkansas. There are a lot of places around the country who don't recognize just how important this industry is, not just from an economic perspective, but frankly, frankly, to the long-term future of our country. If you can't defend our Second Amendment, promote our Second Amendment, then we can't be a strong country. And it really is a vital piece of protecting every other freedom that we have. And so Arkansas is open for business, and we are proud of the fact that we have great companies. We want to see those continue to expand and hopefully bring in a lot of new industry as well.
I love it, and certainly from the workers' perspective, the fact that Arkansas is such a great sporting, shooting state. Obviously, the duck hunting is legendary. You talked about some of the other hunting that's there as well. Just a beautiful state. My dog is from Arkansas, so I have a particular relationship there, Goose. But you mentioned during the governor's forum that we just had, you were on the stage with about 6 other governors. You definitely had a fighting spirit. You wanted to make sure that every business that was looking to move considered Arkansas, and there's been success there. You also mentioned 3 principles that your father drove into you when you were young. Talk about those 3 principles and how that does affect your view of firearms in America in the state of Arkansas today.
Sure. One of the things that my dad really advocated and talked about a lot, both as governor but also as a parent, is that in order for a country to be great, in order for the United States to continue to be the best country in the world, we have to be able to feed ourselves, fuel ourselves, and fight for ourselves. And that last one, probably the most important of all, because without it, you really can't defend your country. You can't protect those freedoms. And so making sure we remain energy independent, making sure that our agriculture and our farming communities are strong and we can feed ourselves, those are really the core components that we need in a strong country, and those are all things that Arkansas really does well. We're proud of that fact. We're going to continue to double down in those spaces, and we hope that more and more people will see that and come to Arkansas for business.
I love it. And last question, I know you need to run. Last question. I follow you on Instagram, so I see every day that you're a ranching family. How does that ranching family affect the way you govern and your belief system in general?
Well, agriculture is incredibly important in the state of Arkansas. It's our #1 industry, and that's something, it's not just about that being our biggest industry, but it's a huge part of our culture, our way of life, and our history and our values. And so that's something we want to protect, something we want to continue to promote, and we're really proud of that in our state.
Great. Governor Sanders, thank you for being here at SHOT 2024. You were a big draw to the Governor's Forum, and we just appreciate you continuing the Arkansas presence at SHOT Show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Come talk to your Firearm Industry Trade Association and the owner of the SHOT Show, the NSSF, at the 2024 SHOT Show. We've changed booth locations this year. Come along with me, I'll show you where we're at. Okay, here we are at booth 42304 at the NSSF Member Services booth. We have a new booth location this year down on the Venetian Level 1. So come and check us out, come talk to us, tell us how your show is going. We'll tell you all about the benefits of NSSF membership and what we can do for you throughout the year. We'd love your feedback and learn how we can better help and serve your business. Let's go over to Caesars Forum and see where our booth is over there. All right, here we are at CF 116. This is the Caesars Forum location for the NSSF Member Services booth. We're really looking forward to talking with you. So come on by, say hello.
Here now at Shot After Dark as Day 2 comes to an end. I'm Amy Sweezy. We'll leave you now with highlights from the industry networking reception sponsored by AccuFire Technology.